Motion carries. Okay. Public comment. I'm presuming everybody's here for a reason. John, would you start us off in the conversation?
I got a call from Cole wanting to put on the agenda the Dodd County Company 5 issue. So we put it on the agenda, so that's about all on that.
Okay, so let's talk about it.
Greg, would you like to elaborate on that?
There was a,
We're out of the room, we'll get there.
there was an incident, and I'm speaking from second hand, so to speak, because I wasn't there, but there was an incident maybe a month
Month and a half ago.
And the individuals called in and specifically requested the ambulance authority.
Which one was that? Where was it at?
18 South.
I could,
Yeah, Max.
I didn't know whether I should
Oh,
go ahead and say that, but that's,
I know.
well, I understand, but I personally don't want to be in violation of any HIPAA laws. But anyway,
Nobody's name was mentioned.
we're not under here.
pardon?
Not once there's our under here,
Oh, really?
because we don't charge.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so
Well, I guess that's good to know. But it was the, was it Mrs. Maxwell, I believe? And they, well, actually, it is Woody Ireland's mother-in-law. And anyway, they specifically requested the ambulance authority. And the problem was that the DCEMS was dispatched and they were rather unhappy.
Well, I listened to that call, and like I say, without quoting exactly what happened, they basically called in one of the squad, and like I said, we can listen to the call later, and said that it'd been out there already today, and the dispatcher said, do you want the ambulance authority or the squad? She said, well, they've been out here today. He worked that morning and knew that they hadn't been out there that day, so that's when he decided it must have been Company 5. That's how it happened. We can listen to the call later, but that's what happened. There was some confusion because they don't really say, and so he asked him to verify. He said, well, they've been out here already this morning, and you guys hadn't been out there, so that's why he figured it had to be 5. That's how we can listen to the call.
The when we approved this back about 1.5 years ago, I recall at the time, I believe it was John, Mr. Dotson, that said this could lead to some confusion.
That's why we just made them the first one, and you had to specifically ask for DCEMS.
Right. And so it is becoming more and more, I mean, yes, it's only one incident, but it was a regrettable, unfortunate circumstance. So it would be much simpler if we just made the ambulance authority and then the provider, and then mutual aid agreements would kick in case, would be my thought. But that's my opinion about it.
Who else wants to talk about it? Go right ahead.
I'm a citizen of Dodd County. I have the right to request who I want to come to my home, whether it's one or the other. I understand that the AA's put on all of them. That's fine and dandy. But this is an unfortunate accident, and it was a mistake. It's not every call where somebody calls in and asks for the DCEMS that there's a mistake. And I have the right to ask for DCAA, and I have the right to call 911, not DCAA, but DCEMS, and I have the right to call 911 to do it. I pay taxes, I pay the phone tax. This 911 center should be able to answer my call and dispatch who I would like to have come out.
Ma'am, what's your name?
Tammy Beamer.
Okay, thank you.
I got something to say.
Sure, go ahead.
When we originally done this, I think this was the first problem we encountered. Am I right or wrong? And
Like I said, I think once we listen to the call later, I think it's not kind of cut and dry as it was.
yeah. Well,
Make sure.
my suggestion is we leave it alone. And I don't think we can act on this because the county commission never made no action on this. So I suggest we just table it.
Do you have anybody else want to say anything in regard to this? Go ahead.
Dalton Wade, Doddridge County EMS. I forgot to bring it with me, but anytime we are dispatched on a call or we respond to an emergency call, we have the CAD report faxed to us. And just looking at the CAD today, but as I said, I forgot to bring it with me. We responded because we were requested. It said, typed in the comments of the CAD report that Company 5 was requested. So we responded because we were engaged.
That's true.
Okay. Anybody else?
The commission hasn't taken any action on this or anything at this point?
No.
Okay.
Any comments? I think.
I'm not familiar with it, what the situation was or whatever. And I guess more information would be needed. Let's see where we.
When was the call?
Yeah, we'll listen to the call.
So, did you make that in the form of a motion?
I did.
Until next,
I made a motion, we table it.
Okay. Do I hear a second in that regard?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Aye.
And one nay. Okay. We'll move on to next order of business. Whole business. We'll talk about texting.
We have been, Verizon and AT&T have been tested and they have went live with their service, texting 911. We had still been waiting for Sprint and Telos. They did come back and say that they, neither one had service in this area. And I informed our vendor that Sprint may not, but Telos most certainly does. They have 2 towers within Ritchie County, or within Doddridge County. So we're still waiting to hear back from them. And we weren't going to advertise until everyone was live with them. So we're still kind of waiting.
By statute, how long do they actually have to do that?
6 months.
From the time we're ready?
Correct.
6 months has to be getting close.
Very close.
Okay.
I have to look at the dates, but yes, it has to be very close.
All right, appreciate that. Any other old business coming for us? Move on to new business. We'll go on to Angie.
Everything's going good. Our new hire is doing really well.
Picking up real well.
Yes, she is. She's doing
So we're gonna have her, when will she, do you have any ideas of when she'll go? Mostly by, on the schedule? Probably August.
When we said the other should be after the conference.
Okay.
So after the conference.
All right. That's good. Mr. Hatfield?
I basically had been nearly finished with the geographic run assignments, and but got sidetracked with some other issues. And now the department is wanting to change their run assignments, so now basically I have to go back and redo all their assignments. But as I say, it's just kind of been on the back burner because some other issues did come up that were more important, or more pressing, actually.
Right.
We were discussing also earlier problems with the radio coverage that Company 4 has out there. And we had finally received the coverage report. This is for the site that we're proposing there on your farm, on your hill. And it's not a very detailed map, really. We also, just this afternoon, received, after I printed everything out, actually it was right about 5, received a quote for an actual tower on that site, which came out to about $31,000. And John reminded me that we had been speaking with, we were speaking with Paul Buckfair about 3 weeks ago about an old tower site that is out there at 5 Points. And he and I believe Wetzel County had already been talking about resurrecting that site. So that may be the route to go anyway, because I would assume if Harrison County puts an IRP site there, CERN site, it's going to be a 340-foot tower. So right now, we're just going to put everything on hold and wait and see what we're going to do there.
How close is that site to this site?
Pretty close.
It's
Next door,
probably less than a mile and a half.
Air mile, or?
Air mile.
Yeah,
Maybe-
mile and a half.
Maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles maybe. And it's actually slightly better elevation.
It is.
The only big problem is it's out in the middle of nowhere, and theft has been a huge problem. We have to harden the site, so to say. We've had to do that in other sites. We worked in another company that with theft and vandalism was a huge problem.
Was there a tower there before?
Yes.
They tore it down to 80 feet, I think.
Oh.
And that's because they were stealing stuff off of people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then they sold it to a guy, and Paul was trying to figure out who they sold it to, but the guy that was working on the radios, he knew the guy, and was supposed to call and contact with
Bill
him.
Woodburn. Bill Woodburn.
So, but that'll be an IRP site, so that'll be $1.2 million site. Light up everybody, Crawford County Commission. Because but that'll be an IRP site.
So what are you gonna do about vandalism?
Well, actually, with technology now, we'll have cameras on it. They can actually be relayed here and everywhere else. So that's what Harrison County, that site there, Salem, they have cameras on that, and they can watch it from Harrisburg. So
That'll be alarmed and.
yeah, I mean, that was just one of the things, but I mean, somebody will actually watch it 24 hours a day
Yeah.
to see if somebody is.
Yeah, with them, they can put a big concrete building on it. which
Well, it'll be just
add
like this one
security.
here.
Add more security than what most of the
And
other
bury all the
smaller
cables
buildings.
and stuff like that.
Right.
That's,
So you know how that place booms up there holidays.
yeah. And that's, I guess they even stole the fence, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Just like I said, I've been up there. Paul's been up there several times, it's a good location, it's just, it's a remote location.
It's remote, yeah.
Evidently somebody gets there.
Go up there on a holiday weekend, you'll see how remote it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're seriously looking at it, and they're looking at dividing it between several counties to make it, you know, more feasible.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Okay. That'd be good.
On this side of the county, we had talked with Greenwood about some of the issues they were having, and we'd asked Miller to put another repeater in base here, or link in base here at the Pittsburgh Tower, because we had a spare antenna with VHF and UHF left over when we installed everything there. We actually received the bill for that yesterday, but I didn't think they'd installed it. We haven't had any contact with them directly, so I'd say it's just a mistake they've actually built it prior to actually installing it. The tower at Burhart, we still haven't heard from that fellow.
They're so excited about
Yeah,
getting
we're
with
so
us.
excited, it'll make us a big deal. Haven't heard things from them. And along with these new sites, we kind of should be part and parcel with the simulcast voting system. We did get a budgetary vote for that of be a 4-site system for 1 channel, either fire, EMS, or sheriff's department. The budgetary quote was for $241,000. And these types of quotes are intentionally high so that they can come in lower when it comes to an active bid process. Adding another channel to that, it would be around $70,000. So for around $325,000 for both fire and EMS and sheriff's department for a 4-site system.
Now, the 4-site system we're talking about, you're talking about 4 towers.
4 towers, correct.
For one county.
For one county. This system is a pretty new system. It's actually been used in other countries, but not so much here yet. It's pretty high tech, and you have the ability to control it via software and all that stuff. There's another system that's been around for a good while. It's the system that's been quoted several years ago. It likely would be less expensive, but we'll just have to get a different quote for that from a different company.
This 4-tower site that or 4 tower sites that you're referring to, that would be in addition to like the IRP?
No, it would be,
That would be the frequency we use with fire and
yeah,
EMS.
the
not
existing
separate.
system.
The IRP basically already does all that.
It would be in addition to the existing system, it would be use the same 4 towers, 4 sites that we currently have. Say, for instance, in Ritchie County, or if we get 2 more in Dodd. It's just added equipment to those sites.
So what's the benefit? Is the IRP the top of the line, the premier, or does that provide the coverage? Or what's the benefit of having both, I guess you could say?
Well, it basically comes down to cost. IRP is basically automatic. They don't have to choose what site they use or whatever. We cannot page through the IRP though. We still have to page departments through a standard radio system. The big issue is, this is a 4-site system for $325,000. To utilize the IRP, we'd have to have 4 sites at $500,000 each site. So it's by a factor of 3 times as expensive to do. And we still have to maintain a VHS system in addition to that.
I guess I'm just trying to wrap my mind around what is best.
Yeah.
The IRP is like a Cadillac system.
And the other thing
Cadillac's
is,
not wrong. And anybody can come in that's got a programmed radio and talk to Doddridge County units. Where on our frequency, they actually have to have the frequency, which IRP talk groups. But you have to have more towers for the IRP system. So that's why really,
They're 1.2 million.
$1 to $1.2 million per site. Function.
And there's other issues. The licensing a IRP site is tremendously hard. This site, for instance, here, 2 years ago, it took them almost 3 years to get enough frequencies for it, to put it online.
Also, they're doing a little better with that now than when it was changed.
And then also, each department would have to buy new radios to go along with that.
For the IRP.
For the IRP.
All the police have it already, the fire department's done. They have, I mean, go to your vehicle.
We have an entry vehicle.
I know you guys got 3 or 4, don't you?
We've had 3 so far and purchased another 2 recently.
Yeah. But most fire departments don't have them. They're relatively expensive.
Yeah, they've come down a lot.
We've purchased 100 watt Kenwood IRPs for about 1,000 and a little bit of change.
That's pretty, they used to be about 3 to 5. I think one of the Tower was $5,000. Wow. For the original one.
It was
Yeah.
3.
Yeah,
They
they've come
were
down.
very expensive.
So if you've got enough towers, the ERP system's Cadillac. If you've got enough towers, then you got to go to voting the other way. It just depends on.
I was just playing around with ours and was sitting at Ruby Memorial's ER and did a radio check with Medbase in Charleston.
Oh, yeah. If you've got, if you're allowed on those certain talk groups, you can talk from right here to Wheeling or Charleston on a portable radio. As long as you get that tower. But it has to go from here to PK and back to talk. That's the downfall part. If the link's broken between them, then it goes into site trunking, and then you're about the same.
When it's working, it's
Yeah.
fantastic, and when it's broke, it's very
Yeah, there's that big tower there. Yeah, it's a Cadillac, but like I say, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it works, then it's great. But still, you can't page off of it, so we couldn't tone fire departments off of it. So that'd be, so if we could, like with Harrison County, we can go, go in on one together, then we still put our other radios on that tower.
Okay,
And then still be able to do that.
okay.
That's what we did up here.
That's what you're looking at, 5-point tower.
Yes.
site.
But the advantage of the simulcast is that,
You don't have to click change.
yeah, you don't have to switch different towers. And,
Exactly.
even though you may be at, we'll just, pick a certain place in West Union, and you may hear better from, or Greenwood, we'll say Greenwood, because they talk about it. You may hear a certain place in Greenwood better off the Doddridge County tower, but certain places in Greenwood, you may hear better off of our tower. The idea of simulcast is it will be coming from both ways at the same time, and that way, no matter if you was on this side of the hill or that side of the hill, you'd still be able to pick it up back and forth.
It's transparent to the user. They doesn't make any difference to them. They don't have to make the choice, basically.
Right. So that's the advantage. Even though one tower may be closer to them, but they still be able, maybe actually be able to hear better off of a different tower instead of that one that's closest, because just because of the hillside or the terrain, where you're at.
So if you do the tower site at 5 points, you're gonna have your other regular antennas up there for the fire department.
Be the
Correct.
ideal situation.
Okay,
You do the fire, EMS, and
Yeah.
law enforcement all.
that's a good location. That's a high point there.
Yeah, that's, who had the tower there before? Who told me? I can't
I don't know.
I don't think it was the DCI tower. I think it was,
But they dropped it down to 80 feet, so he's going to see if engineering people can come in there and use the existing 80 feet and then go up to 340 on it. He's going to get it, so it saves some money.
So freestanding already?
Yeah, must
yeah,
be.
I think it was. It's been out there, but it's been a long time ago.
So what would be the coverage area for the 5 points?
Well, it should cover all to West Union.
Oh, yeah.
340 feet in the air.
Yeah, that would cover all Doddridge County. Both of them.
But if you look at that 180, it covers a lot. Yeah, it wouldn't cover, but it would cover a lot, so you'd have a dead spot probably down in your area again.
What about the Salem tower? Would it still be necessary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it still would help a lot.
Those banks.
Yeah.
On the backside.
Where is the Salem Tower at?
Right there at the fort. Big 500-foot tower. Right there.
Oh, okay.
We're on the very top of that.
Well, whenever you guys turn something on down here, you know it, my scanner.
It's
I guarantee you hear it.
So, well, I hate to keep asking questions, but obviously I'm interested in my end of the county too.
Exactly. Well, see, that's the thing, you know, you could put, that tower's 31,000 radios on it. You know, you probably still got a building, fence and stuff like that. So $50,000, you put a tower down in your end of the county and just conventional radios, you could probably cover the whole county.
But it's not the IRP.
It's not the IRP. But for 1.2 million, you can put one there. Well, and the thing about it is, you try and partner with somebody else.
Right.
To, you know, and basically, the watersheds is the way they look at those towers, I guess, because how the watershed goes, the radio flows. So,
Down in there, it'd probably be Lewis or Gilmer.
probably. And Gilmer has a tower somewhere, but I don't know where it's at.
No, I don't think they have one close to that area.
Yeah, they have one in the county.
Yeah, they have one, oh yeah, they got one here at
And that's the thing, in the terrain in the area we live, I don't care how many we put up, we're not going to get 100%. There's just no way. You're going to have dead spaces and dead spots and things. We just have to try to do the best we can to, you know, cover as much as we can. So, but yeah. Well, that would be, like I said, if they end up putting that IRP tower, that would leave that money that was planned on being spent there to put a tower maybe possibly someplace else, you know, that to help more coverage.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Dodson.
Don't really have a lot. Had to replace our old camera system. It wasn't functioning properly. We've updated some just general computers and stuff, just for general maintenance. And we get ready to send some dispatchers to APCO. Like I said, we've already talked about the 911 tower, so that's about all we have.
And where's the APCO, did you say it was at?
DC.
DC.
that. Was that a 3-day conference?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So are you guys going to go to Morgantown?
I am.
I haven't decided yet.
Ronnie is.
Not yet. That's good. Okay. Anything else that we need to discuss? Anybody else wants to talk about? All right. We'll call this meeting adjourned. That's easy.
September's next one?
Go back home.
September 8th.
Breathing difficulties.
I'm not certain.
I can't remember.
Right there.
I think it was breathing.
It's on 18 South.
It was 18 South.
Hey, Ralph, I told you the wrong date.
Well,
It'd be September 1st. It's the first Tuesday.
No.
right, buddy.
Yeah,
Okay, man.
September 1st.
Yeah.
Got my stuff for me.
Figure that out.
I need to go potty before I take the long way home. I cannot believe I went clear down to McDonald's.
Get there from there.
I was dreaming.
I do that all the time.
Well, if I wanted to buy something, it would have been different.
Did you ever dispatch 5 points and use a
No, I never did.
trip?
Never did.
Oh, shit.
I've driven out there before, but I just
It's
never.
like a city up there.
Yeah, I guess.
Good God, there's a guy up there had a trailer selling hot dogs, hamburgers, beer, moonshine.
What was that for?
Party,
Just
Was it around
party.
Sunday?
anything, just anything, have a party.
Especially,
Kind of like McFarland on the Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
And that's what they said, that's why, they said he even stole the fence around the place. That's why the guy, I guess, bought it, put some antennas up, and they stole them all, so then he just,
It was Bill Woodburn who owns it now,
Oh, really?
Pleasant County.
but like
They
you
say
say,
climb in right of ways with motorcycles, four-wheelers, trucks.
yeah, we usually get
Whose
some,
property is it?
I don't know, gas company.
It's all just kind of basically open. There is some West Lake out there, but I don't think that's on West Lake property.
They don't care whose property is on.
No.
So-
Don't matter. That's where last year, one little kid got run over up there,
Yeah.
little boy.
Wow.
I think they backed the trailer over him or something.
helicopter wrecked up there, what, or on the other side of it. Last year, your guys cutting with the
Yeah,
helicopters.
cutting up there along the power
Dropped
line.
it on the other side, not in this county, but yeah, somebody called in here on it.
He got tangled up and couldn't get loose.
Yeah.
I thought they could drop those saws.
Evidently that didn't drop.
He dropped the whole helicopter.
Yeah.
They didn't get hurt though.
The new ones, they got breakaways.
They got a quick release, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll listen to that call real quick, if you want to.
Yeah.
Angie's supposed to be pulling it up, so.
I'm gonna borrow a stapler too.
Where are we going? Down the
I'll
hall?
just go to my office, probably, I guess. Mine are empty.
Floating.
No, that,
Where they going?
down to the office for the 911 call. You might want to go with them.
Am I allowed to go with them, John?
Man, we need that.
John, am I allowed to go with them?
I don't know if you can listen to a call.
Well, they played one in open meeting at one point in time.
Maybe once it's cleared though, but I don't know that this one, we don't know what all the
I
conversations.
guess it's more of an executive session, but the meeting's over, I realize, but. I've never done it, Tammy, so I don't know.
That'd be the other thing is I think we
I
need to
mean,
hear
Mike
it
could listen
first.
to it. Mike could listen to it. Is he still here?
I don't know.
See if he's still, he can come and listen to it, because he got dispatched to it.
I think
But I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sorry, y'all were in the middle of this.
We're trying to stay for you. I've never done that, so
Allow people to go.
I don't know.
Well, I know they played one in the middle of a commission meeting one night and all of us found had heart failure. I don't think
Yeah.
that,
To me, those are really private. I know the law's a little different on it, but I mean, if you call in a 911, I think that's, I know it's not, but it seems private to me.
do you want me to wait around with you?
no, you're not some big girl.
I know you're a big girl. Do you want me to wait around with you anyway? So, DCMS was out there earlier that day? That's what I was hearing?
No,
Oh, DCAA was.
no, so they hadn't been there either, I would think. Oh, no, I didn't quite
Well, I
understand.
can't understand how they got this complaint. If they didn't call 911
Right,
and make the complaint to family, then how did they, maybe I need to ask John that. Who made the complaint?
right. Well, what happened was Colcrin went to the hospital and got